Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, on the very special edition, we watched the 1997 ECW pay-per-view, Barely Legal,
Girl.
the first ECW pay-per-view. This isn't going to be as an in-depth as our normal episodes will be. We're just gonna run down what we watched, the flavor of what we kind of got, the gist, Kelsey's kind of first impressions of her first ECW event.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
That was
That
absolutely
was
insane.
probably the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially those last couple matches really took us quite over the edge.
On a
Oh,
journey. When we started watching it, because we started watching it together,
mhm.
that's like Xavier said, those are the reaction videos of us actually watching it, and then we finished watching it like we do the normal show. But literally, we were so exhausted. We had a very long weekend together, reunited, and it felt so good.
So
And
good.
we were so exhausted, but we're sitting there and we were just
I don't
in absolute, complete, total, mind, body, spirit shock. It was so overwhelming to the senses in the
No,
best way.
actually. We were, yeah, and it was one of those because there's so much to process with this pay-per-view, just kind of coming off of the rise and fall of ECW, doing like 3 whole episodes on that, like really where this pay-per-view was really discussed like a lot.
Yeah,
We were kind of like going into it being like, all right, we need to like pay attention. And like when it came we got there and it was just like lights on, no one's home.
fully.
There was a lot to pro what is it, trying to like pick something up with like a something wet up with an already like very sopped mop is kind of how
Yeah,
it
the
felt.
sponge is already dripping, soaking wet. It's not helping me clean up any spills at this time. There's not much, there isn't any real way to watch it though, other than just in total, utter disbelief. If you've
Yes.
never actually seen it, because even tonight I was just I
No,
just
actually.
complete utter shock, and in the best way. This is not it was disturbing, it's not
No, no,
that,
no, no, no.
I legitimately was just I could not believe what I was experiencing. And so even if we were fresh as daisies watching it, I still think I would have just been in
Right. No,
complete
absolutely.
disbelief. So I mean, I cannot. Yeah, I feel like we just have to get into it because I don't even know
Yes,
what to
yes, yes.
say.
Before we do, though, I do want to give a quick shout out to I'm wearing a Darby Allin shirt today. Poor homeboy was hit by a bus in New York City
What?
this week, apparently.
You're
Um,
kidding.
no, he posted about it on his Instagram. He was trying to cross the street with his broken ass leg and got hit by a bus. Don't worry though, he made it went to the hospital or whatever, got stitched up, and then made it to a Broadway show that evening because he's just that crazy. But
He said,
dude was supposed to be climbing Mount Everest at this point, and he's just broke his foot in his go away match, gets hit by a bus. Just absolutely wild.
he
So
was not supposed to climb Mount Everest. The universe was no, no. I literally have to Regina George you to make you understand. Oh my
yeah,
God.
just
That, but
absolutely insane.
he said the theater waits for no one, girl. The show must go
No, the
on.
show
I've
must
got
go
to
on,
get to my
apparently.
show. I
All
love
right, so
him. What respect for the theater
let's get
kids.
into just Barely Legal, or at least what we have remembered and written down.
The name was
So
apropos, let me just say.
Amen. So it starts off with a Joey Styles entrance, who really is the MVP of this whole
Thank
thing.
you for saying that.
Because not only is he running half of the introduction segments in the ring, on the side, what he's calling every single match by himself and
Yep.
doing an excellent job.
Yeah, I mean, he really, when Paulie said he's the only one that could have done it and that's why he fought so hard to have him do it, he is correct. I mean,
Mhm.
every wrestler in ECW has about 16 moves with their own names to it, or at least they're just
Yeah.
alliterative. And
Uh-huh.
he knows every single one. And I will say, I'm sorry, now I'm like really again derailing us, but
No, who cares?
something I
This is not
do
a formal episode. Go to town.
okay. Something I really do love about ECW actually is the fact that they only have one commentator. I actually like I understand why you need more than one. I totally get why you need more than one.
Hmm.
It's a lot of things, especially when you're an organization like WWE and you have to remember to announce all of these other upcoming matches and like it's a lot more like
Right.
I feel like moving parts.
Hmm.
But I love just Joey Styles doing the
Right.
match. Like because it actually it feels like you can actually watch the match because there's no weird banter. There's no like crossover of like I'm gonna speak, no, I'm gonna speak. Like it's
Right.
just like he is just calling the match. And yes, he has some moments where he like makes some funnies or says some things,
Right.
but like for the most part, like you just get to fully engage in the wrestling. And
Hmm.
it's so, the wrestling itself is so immersive and so much overstimulation. Like I feel like if there was too many commentators, I'd be like, I don't even know how to
Right.
take this in at
I
this
get
point.
that.
Like
It's
I
like
feel like,
watching the like BBC after watching like Fox News for like 10 years. Like you're just like
yeah, oh my God, that is so real. 100%. I mean,
hmm.
it's like David Attenborough over here just narrating the wildlife for
Right.
real.
Right.
The
Versus like
Philly
Piers Morgan or
wildlife.
whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I need to put the call out. If anyone has ever actually been to an ECW match or was a frequenter of an ECW match, can you please like
let us
tell us
know.
your
Talk to us. We
stories?
want to know.
I just need to know the flavor, the energy, what it was like in that room. I need to know everything. Like I
Hmm.
was looking at the audience members and I was like, there has to be one of you out there that's willing to comment and say something about your
Right.
experience as an ECW fan. Like, please, like,
We
I'm just curious. I
in,
just want to know.
inquiring minds. We
Hmm.
we we want to hear from you
In the
because
best way.
because we have a strong feeling that we would have absolutely ate if we were of age to be and of proper location to be
Yeah.
going to
Proximity
ECW
and
shows.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let us know.
Yeah, honestly. Poor Joey's intro gets kind of interrupted by the Dudley Boys though,
Of
which is
course.
kind of our first real taste of the Dudley Boys like in their element, or at least for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Loved it.
And you really get the like how hated they are.
Immediately they start with the FU Devon chant. Like
Immediately.
literally as soon as their faces appear.
Right.
So
So
in tune also. So in sync.
just to kind of get the kind of heat that they have, you can kind of tell immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Um Sign Guy Dudley makes an appearance. Also, like we do get the litany of Dudleys that I was just like that I had alluded to
I
in an earlier
forgot
episode.
some of them.
Yes, 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 yes.
One really makes a comeback later that really rocked me.
Yeah, and sure, and himself in the process, really.
Yeah, true.
So the Dudley Boys are going to be taking on the Eliminators, which are consisted of Saturn and Cronus,
Love.
which is fantastic names. I'm just throwing that out there.
Love.
Also, they are
Incredible.
just the most like acrobatic little beefcakes I've ever seen. Like
Full stop, period. I literally wrote, I did not know this was the Olympic gymnastics tournament.
crazy.
Because what in the GD hell was going on? It was so beyond me.
Hmm.
Like this is another thing too, like that everyone in ECW does that thing where like they like baboing off of the rope, like they just
The
run over and like
springboard.
baboing. Yes, the springboard, the baboing. Um,
Technical term, boing.
like I'm sorry, at WWE they never do that. Like they like climb up the rope, they set it up.
Hmm.
Like when someone goes quickly on WWE, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not trying to like shit on the WWE right
No,
now
but
because I obviously
it
enjoy
is
it.
the contrast in style like
It
that we're
is
talking about.
so they just run over, boing off thing, back flips, rate full turns, tilts, tilt-a-whirls. Like I don't even know. It was just beyond me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The match ends with a total elimination, which is that crazy like 450 splash, which has Joey Styles in fits
In a
basically.
tizzy, girl.
And with the total or with the eliminators becoming the new tag team champions. Um,
Incredible.
So yeah, so that's basically the gist. This was our opening contest. We finally get the Dudleys, in their prime, in their element. Saturn will come up later on again in the WWE, so just
Fun.
a face to pay attention to.
It's a
Uh,
gorgeous face.
yeah, go off. And so in our next match, we have Lance Storm taking on RVD, who is a replacement for Chris Candido, who, if you've
Girl.
been watching the entire time, is one half of the Body Donnas in the WWF.
And he mentions in this because he comes out to like with his little sling and
Mm-hmm.
says some little speech about how he like started ECW and then he went to WWE to like win. He was a tag team champion and he had to
Yeah, yeah,
come
yeah.
back to the house that he built and blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. But at one point, I just want to say because it made me go like, "Oop." He goes, and me and my girlfriend, I can't say her name because I'll get in trouble. Meaning
Right,
Sunny, who
because
is
she's still
still
employed.
at
Yeah.
the WWE. That is so weird.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me like I all of the pieces are now making me believe like okay, like the time is coming soon. Like
That she's leaving, right? I thought
right,
that too. I thought that
because
too.
like Candido's already out, Sable's on the rise. She's already been called out for her shenanigans with Sean. So I
Oh
think
my
soon
God, that
it's
was
gonna be like
crazy.
the time, which is,
You
love to
know.
see it.
And she was snubbed at the Slammies, let's be real.
Fully snubbed.
Fully
Fully did
snubbed,
not even
so.
get a glance, really.
Yep.
She was
Mm-mm.
honestly, she not even a snub. She was just roasted at it. It might as well have been the roast of Sunny, like at that point, because everyone
Mm.
just every Paul, Hunter, Sean, like they all had a moment, and we were like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, um,
Yep.
poor thing.
Yep. Well, bye,
Well,
girl.
bye, girl. So Landstorm is a graduate of the Heart Dungeon. They do make a point to announce that again, like respected no matter the organization.
Yep.
Um, we know that RVD is not pleased about being the replacement in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, he adds a little extra sauce to a lot of the things that we are seeing. I do
Love.
want to point out that Landstorm has one of the best super kicks I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
For
all,
sure.
only rivaled by like probably like Shawn Michaels and then honestly Steven Richards later
Thank you
today,
for saying that.
because that the one he has in the main event later is absolutely the force, the
The noise.
placement, the timing, like it was impeccable. Like
It was
it looked
amazing.
like it would have just taken his head clear off. It was so good.
So
Um,
good.
so shout out to Steven Richards for that one. That count.
Shout out, please. Big
Um,
Stevie Cool.
so yeah, so basically this match is fantastic. They're both
Amazing.
ridiculous athletes. Um, to by any stretch of the imagination. Look at either one of them. They're just ridiculous.
Yep.
Um, we do get some of those classic like RVD kind of moves, like the Van Daminator when he's like kicking a chair into Landstorm's face
Mm.
repeatedly. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of the like springboard kind of moves you're talking about
Yep.
that like RVD is really synonymous with. And the best part is like the end of the match when he like he wins, grabs the microphone, and it's just like RVD is second to no one. I sold out to myself by being here.
Yeah.
So and the only reason I did it is because it makes me worth more money here and every and like elsewhere. I love that. I love that he's just like, I'll take my ball and go.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't
I'll
fret.
take my ball and go. I'll take
I
my
love that he
springboard
like
action and
threatens the
go.
ECW like audience with it, because it's like honestly it's like their biggest fear, you know what I mean, is that
Yeah,
like
of
one of the other
course.
organizations like finds out about their like little hidden treasures and takes them. So like the
Yeah,
fact that he's
fully.
like throwing it in their face like no, I will willingly go.
Yeah, act
I will
correct.
gleefully leave.
Act
Like,
correct because my resume is in rotation and
right.
this is the highlight reel. So don't get it messed up,
Yo,
please.
absolutely.
Also, there was a Joey Styles took a little dig at WCW in this match and
Oh, I love
said,
that. What do you say?
yeah, when at one point Lance is thrown out of the ring. They're both outside of the ring. And he goes, "We don't have those pretty blue mats like some other organizations. This
Mm-hmm.
ain't Disney World."
Oh
And
my
it's like
God, I know.
kill
Bam.
shot.
I love it.
So good.
I love it.
I
I
also
love it.
just
I love
wrote
it.
so much chair.
So much chair.
So much chair. And like I love it.
Right.
Just so
So much chair.
So much chair.
So next we get a 6-man tag, which is absolutely incredible. So this is,
Amazing.
who is it? It's the Great Suzuki, the
Mm-hmm.
Grand Hamada, Masato Yakushiji taking on Terry Boy, Dick Togo, and Taka Michinoku, which we could not get over
Thank you so
the
much.
fact that his name was just Dick to Go, a la the Chapel Ronan song "Hot to Go."
Dickoggo.
We just we
You can
couldn't
take this.
stop. We
I'm sorry. You set yourself up for that one. Dick Togo, Dick to go. You're a dick to
Dick to Go,
because I am
absolutely.
busy. I am a woman on the out in the world. Sometimes I just need it to go.
Amen. Also, Taka Michinoku is somebody who is uh really like respected in wrestling,
Mm,
especially by wrestlers like more today. A lot of wrestlers have adopted his moves. Like the Michinoku driver is named after him, obviously.
mm,
And it is just a move that has become more popular with just kind of how wrestling has changed and become more athletic and more geared towards like smaller, faster wrestlers.
mm-hmm.
His style and some of his move sets have kind of uh become just like integrated into just wrestling vernacular, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that is
Um
cool.
and we did talk about this while we were watching the episode,
Yeah,
that this is something that ECW does really well in terms of featuring another organization's like wrestlers, in
yeah.
allowing them to actually shine and giving them the space and time to uh really like put on a show for people, and not have it be kind of concentrated where it's like either the theme of the match is kind of jokey or the commentary is extra jokey, or there's lots of references about like not being able to like speak languages, which is just like it's just like it's just in poor taste, I guess,
It's
generally.
belittling. It's
Right.
very belittling.
Whereas this was just like, yeah, like here are some like foreign competitors, like watch them do their thing.
And
And see
yeah.
what other parts of the world how they do wrestling. And like
Mm-hmm.
that's just it was done very, very well.
So well. And
So
yeah, I will say too, like one, the crowd was so engaged again, probably, one, it's the ECW crowd, so they're just, here for the
right.
ride. But also I again, because like you said, it's presented to them differently than it would in, another organization. But also I thought we mentioned this too when we were watching. I thought it was good they had their own ref, like a ref from their organization.
Hmm.
And I think that also changed how comfortable, like, and I don't know this, I'm not a wrestler, but it'll change how you feel like in the ring because when we talked about, I don't remember, maybe it was like a couple weeks ago, how like they literally just kept shuffling the ref out of the way, like during like Monday Night Raw, because he was just like, he just and
Didn't
that
know
wasn't
their
his
style.
fault, but
Yeah.
he didn't know their style. And like this ref knew, he was on it. He knew everything. He knew where to go. He knew what to do. He knew, like, he was just
Right.
more like in the,
Attuned to like
yes, thank you. And I feel like that makes a difference also.
no, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And those are like the little things that just like aren't thought about, like,
Yeah.
because I feel like in other organizations it's like, oh, like how can these people, like how do they make us look better, or how do they add to our thing, instead of it being like kind of a mutual uh kind of understanding. It's like, hey, like we'll give you the like the platform and actually give you the space to perform.
Yes.
So
And they did the streamers thing, which I love, which is I
oh
guess
yeah.
a traditional like Japanese wrestling thing where you just
Hmm.
like throw all these streamers into the ring.
Yeah.
They also did that, which like because if they were passing around like the heads, the styrofoam heads for
Hmm.
Al Snow, like that they probably passed out the streamers. They knew
Yeah.
what to do. I'm
Hmm.
assuming like ECW fans know to throw
Yeah.
them, but like I'm assuming it was distributed, which to me is that also that extra step of just being like, this is like a real thing we're honoring and
Right.
taking seriously, and
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Then we get a promo from Big Stevie Cool. This is really our like, first time seeing him do much outside of the documentary, really, which is,
Yeah.
and really this match is the match that he is like kind of like known, or like that is particularly like pulled out as far as he goes in that documentary.
Yeah.
But for those of you unfamiliar, Big Stevie Cool was part of Raven's like flock for years and years and years. So he's like one of his like flunkies, essentially.
Mhm. Mhm.
Breaks off, does his own thing, becomes part of the parody group that ends up becoming the Blue World Order, and somehow has finagled his way into this like three-way dance for a number one contendership, which is pretty cool because when we watch the documentary, we get this like aspect or this perspective of him that he's just like, he feels like he's like undeserving, or like he's having like an imposter syndrome kind of like moment,
Mhm.
which is like juxtaposed pretty nicely with the fact that like we're watching him like do a promo where he's supposed to like sell that he's like, you know, the best. So that's always like
Right.
that's always a pretty cool like peek behind the curtain, that like while he's like out here trying to like be this you know, stone cold wrestler guy, he's probably also at simultaneously like shitting a brick a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So you know, it humanizes them a little bit. Next we have the World TV Champion Shane Douglas taking on Pitbull 2. This match is essentially just like a revenge match. Apparently Shane Douglas has injured Pitbull 1, so Pitbull 2 was coming to avenge
Girl.
the first one.
The way that
um
they are Pitbull 1 and 2 is so great to me.
right,
Like that
like,
is just hysterical.
yeah, very Dr. Seuss like thing 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure.
There were some crazy chants from the crowd pointed at Francine in this one. They
Yeah.
called her a shameless hussy. At one point they started a "she's got herpes" chant, which
Yeah.
is
Well,
absolutely insane.
yeah, I think Joey Styles called her a shameless hussy. He goes, "Oh, there's
That's
Francine, that shameless hussy." And I was like, "Ah,
okay, Joey.
Joseph Styles,
Right. Uh,
where do you get the nerve?" Unreal. I mean, maybe she is, I don't know, but it's just like it just took me off guard. But yeah, there was the she's got herpes, she's a whore,
mhm.
we want blood.
Crazy,
Um,
crazy.
there was a part where the franchise gets you know, dropped on his nuts essentially on
Mm.
the ropes. And Joey goes, "Well, the rest of her weekend just became a lot less promising."
Oh my God, I love that. It's so funny. It's
I
so
mean,
funny.
it's great. It's really, really good.
Amazing. We do get a kind of like a run in from like a masked man who ends up being ravishing Rick Rude.
I need that
Um,
robe.
what?
He wears a robe and the back just is simply ravishing, and I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely need one of those.
Oh,
Absolutely
you okay?
non-negotiable.
Well, uh, then yes, we'll have to go back and watch some more WCW and things. Because Ravishing Rick Rude actually has like the record for appearing on both Monday Nitro and Monday Night Raw on the same night, I think.
Oh,
Because of, you know, the constant back and forth of things. I think he
wow.
had taped something that was being aired on WWE, and then he was on WCW Nitro live. So like at the same time, like they
Oh
were
my
both, he was in like both
God.
location, which is just kind of a random fun fact for you.
That's so
But
crazy.
he's also has had some incredible feuds in like the early 90s WCW with like Sting and Vader. So that uh definitely one to like go back and kind of watch.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of at like the end of his career at this point. But definitely one to you're gonna want to check out.
Oh, for sure.
Next we got a couple of promos both from Raven and then from Taz, essentially just giving us the sauce. Raven's addressing Terry, and what is this? Terry to win, grappler of the modern era. Oh, basically he's just calling Terry Funk a has-been and like old and like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um and Taz's promo I thought was great. He's essentially just
Amazing.
just calling out Sabu, like, just one more time, like he has basically been doing for the last year. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I've waited for my whole life. He's like, I hate you.
So
Um,
good.
and he's like,
Minces no
what?
words.
And he's like, why do I like choke them out? Like people ask me. He's like, one, because I can, two, because I want to, and three, because Fonzie put money on it. I was like, okay.
Which ends up coming back. The Fonzie put money on it, which we'll get into, girl.
Amen.
But I also mentioned they did do a promo for Sandman in the beginning of Barely Legal, but it was literally like just a montage of him being the Sandman. Like there was no
Is it just his
speaking.
entrance?
It's like his and him just hitting people with the cane, him like breaking people's backs over tables, him smashing the beer and drinking, smoking. Like it was just a montage of just like
Mm,
encapsulating who he is as a person, but he didn't actually speak. Like everyone else like had a little like they did a legit promo, but
right,
his was just like here's this crazy guy. I don't even think we'll get him on the mic, but this is just some of
right.
the weird crazy shit he does. So here you go.
Absolutely
Which was
bonkers.
thrilling, but you know.
Uh, so next we get the grudge match of the century. We got Taz versus Sabu, which was
Wow.
just absolutely insane. It's just phenomenal. Taz comes out with Team Taz, Bill Alfonso with the whistle. Sabu wants no entrance, can't be bothered. As soon as Taz is in the ring, they're like the camera cuts away. They're like looking at all the members of Team Taz, and then all of a sudden they cut back. Sabu's in the ring. He's like, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're here. I'm here for the fight. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the pomp and circumstance. Thank you very much."
Yep.
Um, it starts out very much like a classic wrestling match. It's very hold for hold, hold counter. Very much in the style that is beneficial to Taz. As
Mm-hmm.
we know, or as we have learned, especially during this match, he is um a tried and true like mat technician. The guy can
Mm-hmm.
just like if he is on the mat with you, good luck.
You are in danger.
Because there is
You in
probably not
danger,
a
girl.
there's probably not a configuration that you could be in that he can't find a way to make you in more pain. So uh
Oh my God.
so good luck. um
Wow.
Sabu gets his nose busted open pretty much in the opening minutes of the contest.
Within 90 seconds.
Essentially his nose gets broken within like just the first couple minutes.
Yep.
Taz is like cross facing him, and you just like on the
One
third or
lands.
fourth, there's just blood all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, well, there's his nose.
Yep.
Um, they of course take it to the crowd as they do in ECW. At one point, like they are so in the crowd that like I can no longer see the participants of the match.
Yeah, no
Like
idea. They're
they're
just in
just
there.
in the chaos. This match was just it's just bonkers. Like I could just go through the list of like highlights as far as like ridiculous things that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
The somersault leg drop from Sabu onto Taz was bonkers.
Wild.
Uh
Wild.
Taz flapjacking Sabu onto the steel chair when he like just picks him up and just drops him face first.
Mm-mm.
Um the belly to belly Tazplex over the rail. Insanity.
Why? How?
Why? Why
Also
not?
love I again, it's this thing, the belly to belly Tazplex. Like
Yes. And it's
just
because it's
the
a
T-bone
suplex. Right.
Tazplex, which
Um
I like mine medium well, but in this case it was well done.
mm-hmm. Amazing.
Sorry.
No, never apologize. At one point, Sabu goes to DDT Taz through a table that's kind of like propped up between the ring and the guardrail for the fans, and Taz just throws him off. Just throws him off so that so that Sabu just goes absolutely through. Sabu performs his ridiculous leg drop from like basically halfway across the ring. Like he's like on the opposite side.
It's
And
crazy.
no, it's insane. I literally just have a note that says head and arm Tazplex was crazy. So it's the one where like his arm and head are like locked, and then he basically just drops him, and it is the reason why Taz is called the human suplex machine. It is the manner in which he delivers these moves. They are so just pinpoint accurate as far as like how to do the most damage with a suplex. Like
I
that is
mean,
exactly how you want to do it if you're
it,
trying to hurt somebody.
and it showed. It showed. He is just something else. He is a machine. It's
Right.
just so insane.
Yeah, I just have Taz's suplexes are A1.
Uh,
And you really he starts like running away with the suplexes and you really like you're like, "Oh, Sabu's down bad."
Dead.
And then
Dead.
he throws on the Taz mission and that is that on
Curtains.
Sabu. Because he grabs the mic, he being Taz after, and he goes to like Sabu, who's like, "What just happened?" Because Sabu's like confused.
Hello? Yeah.
Is I just choked you out. And you're
Oh,
could you like imagine like
coming to.
and having the person who did that to you just be like, just for your knowledge, I did that to you.
You would
Like,
do that.
um absolutely insane. What?
I said, bitch, you would do that.
I would do that. No, I absolutely would
You
because
would be like,
if there's one thing I'm not gonna do is not get the credit for it.
oh,
That's absolutely insane. No, 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 no.
no, you would literally be like, you up? Okay.
No, I'd wait
So what
around
just you and you'd have like a little like, so what just happened
like a laser
was
pointer.
right here. That's your neck in my elbow, and I squeezed.
Hmm.
And then you
For all
so
intents and purposes, I am Cusco in the beginning of the movie. Let's just say that.
you threw off my group.
um
No, that is so true. Oh my God. Wow.
so yeah, you know, you're not wrong. But after the match, Taz does offer his respect to Sabu, much to the chagrin of the crowd.
They were
The crowd was
pissed.
like genuine human emotion. Like,
What do
they
you want
were
us to hold hands and sing Kumbaya? This is ECW, girl. Like, get out of
they
here.
were not having it. Um,
Boo.
but RVD makes his way back to the ring and nails Taz from behind, which then just ensues
Chaos.
chaos, absolute chaos. So Sabu hits Taz with an Arabian facebuster, which is ridiculous.
Mm,
And then there's the messiest spot that I've ever seen, which
so
so it's
messy.
RVD trying to put Taz on the table, propped up similarly to how it was in during the match. Um, so ring, guardrail, table.
Mm-hmm.
Sabu props up the chair as he is one to do, goes to like do the like the three jump moonsault or whatever he's or leg drop, whatever he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hits the chair, gets on the rope, falls off the rope, and then he like sets up the chair again. But by the time he goes to the ropes to like do the move again, the table has accidentally broken from the weight of Taz, and the like precariousness like that it was just placed.
Propped.
And yeah, but and then Sabu just did the move anyway. He
He
just
was
jumped
like,
on,
whatever.
like irrelevant, and just threw himself on top of Taz anyway because
It,
that's just the way.
yep, it was crazy. And it harkens back to the thing where Paulie was like, we made mistakes and we made them on camera and we didn't try to hide it. And like, so
Mm,
that's just how it went. It's not like it was edited, cut,
right,
anything. Like he messed up and he goes, let me try again. Whoop, 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 whoop. And like,
right.
he's like, well, table's already broken. Might as well
Hmm.
just jump on it anyway.
Right.
C'est la vie.
Love that. So then our boy Bill Alfonso out here starts taking off t-shirts and we're like, all right, what's up? So
Three
he
different
takes
shirt reveals.
yeah, he takes off his original like orange Taz shirt. And we're like, cool, another Taz shirt. Taz through and through. Love that.
Wee woo.
Stand by your man. But so I didn't want to do the whole nine, so I just gave up.
Man, that was like the haunted TikTok version of that song, the cursed TikTok version of Stand By Your Man. Oh my God. Stand By Your Man.
I'm actually crying.
God.
Now that
Y'all are
I've
gonna hear that in your sleep.
Now that I've created demons for all of your toys, you're welcome.
Like you like pull the haunted dolls like string and it's like am I
Absolutely.
your man?
You all have an Annabelle in your house now. Good luck.
How do we get to these places? It gets me every time. I'm like, how did we get here?
But anyway,
Oh,
anyway, uh, back to these t-shirts.
oh my God.
So then he goes and rips off one more shirt, and he's got a Sabu shirt underneath
Girl,
because
three
apparently
three different shirt reveals for me to find out that Fonzie is a hoe.
is a
I had
snake.
to do three different shirt reveals to find out you're a bitch.
That's crazy.
That's that seems wrong and unfair to me, and I don't
I don't need
know.
three OOTDs to get there. Get it together. Get it together.
Aren't you hot? Like
Like,
one would do.
that's what I'm saying.
One unbutton would do.
Uh,
Three?
mm.
Gross. Really rude. All
So
right,
apparently
Paul Bear.
Fonzie been putting money on the wrong
He
person.
said he's like, I put my all my money on Sabu when
I was like, well, you
Taz,
dumb because he lost.
yeah, you
So
stupid.
anyway. So
He
next
can
we
go sit
have
at the Last Supper with freaking Paul Bear and enjoy themselves. Him, Paul Bear, and Judas. Y'all enjoy.
absolutely. And Brutus. You add him too.
Et tu, Brute?
um, so next we have the three-way dance between Big Stevie Cool, the Sandman, and Terry Funk. I have a Sandman beer count at 4. I could be mistaken.
There
I
might be more.
I might have just missed it, but I know I saw him go back for another one when he brought out like the trash can. But and
The
then there was 3
steel.
and the entrance.
Oh yeah. Three in
Hmm.
the entrance when he went back to grab this the steel wrapped garbage can, he was like, "Oh, while I'm back here,
Right,
let me
right,
just
right.
grab one from the cooler." Oh,
Um,
also, really quickly, can I add that right before Rob Van Dam left, he said, "I love to work Mondays," like
oh
into the
yeah,
mic,
yeah,
and then was like,
yeah.
"Bye,
He's so yeah,
girl."
he's such a little menace.
That
I
is
love
crazy.
it.
He was like, "By the way, love to work Mondays." Throws the mic, leaves. Everyone's like, everyone loses their mind,
So
flipping out.
stupid.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So this match is it's absolutely bonkers.
So
For
crazy.
some reason, Tommy Dreamer is on commentary. I understand like why, like storyline wise, why he was placed on commentary. He was supposed to be in the match, gives up his place to his mentor, Terry Funk. So like
Mm-hmm.
cool, yeah, like okay, I get why you would want to have him be on commentary. He can add, man, I wish I was in there. No, like why I sacrificed myself for Terry, blah blah blah. Nothing. I got nothing. He
Oh my
barely
God.
spoke the entire match. And then when
Barely.
he was asked questions, he couldn't be bothered to answer them. And then when he did speak, it sounded like he was like a ninth grade biology teacher at like like second period trying to take us all out. Like I can't.
Damn. That's
Like
true though.
no, and it's just like where did that come from? Like
Tommy,
why put you on commentary if it was gonna be that boring?
I know. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. Tommy, I get it. He is back of the house through and through. He's just a worker. He's not trying to do the rah rah shish goomba on the mic. And I know he does
He's not trying to
promos and stuff.
grandstand.
He's not great. Yeah, he's not the soapbox boy. He's not gonna have he's just there for the fighting, really. But I will
Hmm.
say when he and Beulah came out, because at this point in the storyline, they're together, girl. So when they came out, first of all, she looked great. And
Hmm.
it's crazy because now you know they're married, so just love to see
Right.
that. But the way he looked at her and checked her out and showed her off, like literally made sure he like took a gander at the ass, like when she walked forward, like he was literally like this, like
Yeah. Hmm.
I the
Wow.
energy. I just
Right.
love the energy of it. On commentary, should have brought that energy to commentary. Maybe said more than 4 words total for
Right.
two whole matches.
Right.
But I mean, love to see it, I guess.
Right.
And when
Um,
Beulah came out, everyone told her, everyone was like, "Show your tits,
yeah,
show
so they
your
love her.
tits." Yeah,
It's essentially what I'm getting.
that's what I felt from it. So,
This match was great. It started out as just like Chop City.
hmm
Everyone was going to town. Um, Sandman brings in a ladder and then all hell breaks loose. It is
uh,
just absolute carnage from there. At one point, Terry moonsaults off of the ladder,
Girl,
and which is absolutely insane because he is
makes no
53
sense.
years old at this point.
Crazy.
So think of the
And this
53-year-olds in your life. Ask them to do a backflip off of a ladder onto another man. Just see if
in a
they would be able to
ring.
do that. Right.
And let me say, this wrestling ring was the mat, quote unquote. It was made of, I don't know, maybe like a piece of sheet metal. It was
Whoa, whoa,
like
whoa, whoa,
it was a
whoa.
wah wah, yeah. And I want to say Terry Funk did that after the bane of Terry Funk's existence in this whole match was every time someone grabbed something to toss it into the ring, Terry
It found
Funk got
his
hit in the
skull.
face with it.
Yeah.
Like so Terry Funk did a moonsault off a ladder at the age of 53 on a piece of sheet metal ring onto
Mm-hmm.
another man after he was just hit in the face with the ladder when Sandman threw it into the ring. So Sandman
Mm-hmm.
throws the ladder into the ring, bonk, Terry Funk's face just caves in his skull, and then he gets up on the ladder and does a moonsault onto another person.
Yep.
So
Bonkers.
what
Absolute
just
insanity.
happened?
Um
So crazy.
Oh, and then yeah, so once the Sandman goes back and brings the trash can, we have another series of absolute insanity. They just
Yeah.
start hitting each other just with it. And then they can't take it apart, which is hilarious to me like at first because it's like interlocked. And then once
Yeah.
they like start smashing it on their heads, it makes it even more like difficult to
Because
do.
now it's bent. Yeah.
At one point there's like a slingshot. This is crazy. Stevie Richards is laying on the ground. He has a ladder placed on top of him. Sandman goes out onto the apron, at which point Terry Funk slingshots the Sandman back into the ring, flipping him over the top rope, and he does a leg drop onto the ladder onto Steven Richards. It's crazy. It's absolute insanity. This match was just wow.
How far can we push the human body
No,
before
literally.
it literally explodes? I mean, that they did a lot of they did at least like three kind of like seesaw moves too with the ladder where like someone would the one I it was like I think it was Stevie Richards really got the end of the stick, the shitty end of the stick. Like
Mm,
because at one point they like Terry Funk and Sandman have the ladder like up on the top rope, kind of like teetering, and like Terry Richard or Stevie Richards, they just like line him up right there, and then they just literally like drop the other side
yep.
and like him
Yeah.
in like the chin
And then there's the one that the Sandman does that ends up like backfiring because he just launches the ladder like basically like
into
up the ramp and it looks like it goes like into the crowd.
I
But
thought it
really
did.
it like the Sandman like hits the ladder and then just the ladder just like falls on top of the Sandman just gets decked in the face by his own like projectile ladder.
He really fell on his own sword with that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
truly,
thought
truly.
the ladder, like the both of us, we were like, because it
No,
looked like because the ladder literally was like slingshot into it
out of
looked like
frame.
the crowd
Like
out of frame. So I was like, the first 5 rows of this bingo hall are
headless.
head decapitated. Like
That's what I'm
the
saying.
first pay-per-view barely legal. How about completely illegal murder?
No, Final
Like
Destination, way to
Final
go.
Destination, 100%. Yeah.
So Stevie Cool gets eliminated at that point, after getting absolutely crushed by the Sandman's face, or
Mm-hmm.
ladder leg, I don't know. It was chaos. And
Mm-hmm.
then the Sandman introduces barbed wire into the situation, which obviously helped absolutely no one.
Mm.
They were just tearing each other up with it. Um, Gross, bonkers.
And also the barbed wire was covered in the streamers from earlier
Right,
because basically like the barbed wire was under the ring. They had kicked off the streamers from the match earlier and kind of just like shoved it under the ring and not
right.
realize. So it was like the pinata from hell, like
Mm-hmm.
because like Sandman like wraps himself
In
in the
it.
barbed wire because why wouldn't you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's like a hug.
the most comfortable, soft, comforting hug you've ever felt. Barbed wire covered in streamers. And it was funny because when he like jumps off the top rope, like the barbed wire's like sticking out and like all the streamers are hanging off. It looked like he had like a tail. Like he
Mm-hmm.
looked like a creature. But yeah, he jumps onto Terry Funk covered in a, blankie of barbed wire. So that must
Mm-hmm.
have felt so fun and delightful for
Uh,
everyone involved.
honestly. And then Terry Funk performs another moonsault, which
Girl.
is insane. And then
Terry.
pins the Sandman. And that's that on that.
I
Um,
cannot believe. I mean, even though I knew the outcome of this, it's still shocking. It's like
right.
it's just so amazing.
And then by that point, Raven already makes his way down to the ring.
Immediately, he's like, knock, knock, ding dong. It's
Ding
me,
dong.
girl. Get
Right.
up.
And it just absolutely decks Terry with the title belt before Terry is even like come to.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a bunch of members of like the flock come in. Reggie Bennett who is this badass chick who just like power bombs Terry, just comes in and absolutely just takes the life of that man. Just like
Mm-hmm.
it was unexpected.
So,
Um,
so amazing.
and then we cut like to commentary, and Big Dick Dudley apparently has returned from jail.
Girl,
Um
girl, the way the way that 1 minute we're watching like the match and then the next it's up at the commentary because Tommy's got up, he's all mad, he's yelling because like Raven had said like I'm gonna destroy like your father figure and blah blah
mhm.
blah. So now Tommy's up and he's like, oh yeah, come get it, man.
Mhm.
Suddenly there's a man standing behind him
Right.
and Joey Styles goes, oh my God, it's Big Dick Dudley. Big Dick Dudley's out of jail. I literally was like, that
It's
sentence is
crazy. Is
so
crazy.
Big Dick Dudley. We have Dick to go. We have Big Dick Dudley. We have all kinds flavor. Just out of jail. Just fresh out the
Fresh out.
pokey.
Not the pokey. Get out.
Literally.
Oh,
Fresh out the pokey for your viewing pleasure is Big Dick Dudley up at the commentary table, and it gets messy up there. It
yeah.
gets real messy up there.
So it seems like he's going to choke slam Tommy Dreamer off of the commentary area through a bunch of tables that have been previously set by the flock. But no, no, no. Tommy Dreamer reverses it and then delivers the chunkiest choke slam I've ever seen.
Mm-mm,
Essentially, he just
mm-mm.
shoves Big Dick Dudley onto the tables, and he just like falls
Into
into a
like, yeah.
splintering mess. Um, yeah, I literally just go messy choke slam through the tables.
Yeah, he fell through the core of the earth and is like in the eighth layer of hell. I don't know. He just
Right.
went into a black oblivion. Like he just started crashing through the tables and disappeared.
Yeah, honestly.
It was
So all of
weird.
that's going on creates enough of a distraction that Terry can kind of take an advantage, gets a small package, and wins the ECW Heavyweight Championship, which is just we talked about it on the Rise and Fall documentary, but it's just such a moment for him, for the company, so much so that like Joey Styles is like actually crying on
Mm-hmm.
commentary, just like taking it all in. Because we know how hard all of them worked to even get to that point. So to get to the end of the night, having accomplished one of their big goals was probably, a big moment for all. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
mean, it was amazing watching them all get so emotional. And like again, now that we know the backstory, I was crying. I was like really, really choked up. I was like, God, because Terry's crying, Tommy's crying, Joey Styles is emotional. Like it was
mhm,
just like overwhelming. And Terry Funk is like covered in blood. Like, I don't know. It was just like the fans are freaking out. It was just it
mhm,
was so so cool. I mean, and like now that I've seen the whole thing, it's like that is something. It's crazy, but it is something to be so proud of. It's ECW. Like that it's crazy, but it's who they are and they like absolutely nailed it. Like
love
just
it.
that was their first pay-per-view.
Mhm.
That was their first pay-per-view. We had traders, we had people just coming in left, right, and center.
We had a
Big Dick
feel good
Dudley's out of
story.
jail. Yeah, like we had, miracles. Literally, Joey Styles, when Terry Funk wins, just goes, do you believe in miracles? And I was
Oh
like,
my
I
god.
do. Like, I do. Oh my
That's
God, it's
absolutely
crazy.
amazing. Absolutely
Feral.
amazing. So, how was this was your first ECW event. How do you feel?
I'm really overwhelmed. I'm really
Hmm.
it's like I said, it's overstimulating. Not in a bad way, in the best way. It's just like it is like so different. In the best
Hmm.
way. So different. It's just like I really am at a loss. I mean, for my first time, like really just watching ECW matches, like with the storylines and the blood, the guts, the gore, the props, the everything. I mean, I love it. The characters are so well established. I really also feel like they look more like normal people. Like I know like Taz is, he's an animal, but like the Sandman really, like you said, he looks like someone just grabbed somebody off the streets of Philly and was like, "Can you wrestle tonight?"
Right.
And that's that. Like even Tommy Dreamer, like yes, he's built, but he doesn't look like they look normal, which I
Right.
like. I like that they look just like normal people who are doing
Right.
the most insane stuff you've ever seen. Like no, it's always no holds barred night at ECW, and I'm
Always.
here
Always.
for it. Like
Always.
literally, Sandman was like, "Excuse me a minute, I just have to run into the locker room and grab this ladder. Will you
Right.
please hold on?"
Theory.
Yeah, like
Amazing.
just and Tommy's just like, "Oh, Sandman left."
Right.
It's like, like, and then he just
His
goes,
two bits on commentary are
yeah.
the location of the Sandman at any
But
given point.
I like it. I like that it's like a little bit looser. It's not so strict. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, again, there's just something about it that's so endearing and you can tell they really believe in it and they are just obviously willing to do literally anything to do their thing. It's crazy.
All right. All right, guys. So that has been this edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. Look out this weekend. We are going to have a very, very special After Dark. We are going to be interviewing Woody from Suplex Vintage Wrestling
Oh my God.
here in Philadelphia. And yeah, just be on the lookout for that. We're gonna ask him tons of questions about how the shop came to be, how he gets into wrestling. He has provided a couple matches for us to watch. We'll talk about those and why he chose those. And yeah, just something a little different this week. Next week you will catch us back with our pay-per-view,
Girl.
because when we get back onto the regular New to Wrestling, we will be on our next pay-per-view, In Your House. They didn't give it a full title, it's just In Your House.
Yep.
So look out for that. But in the meantime, thank you as always, wherever you watch, listen, chat with us. We appreciate it, and we will catch you next time.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.